Hi guys, my name is Carson Hollinger. I just wanted to start off by asking you a question. Have you ever wanted to speak up about something in public, or just in a social situation, and you freak out and then you don't say anything, and later on you regret it because you feel like you should have talked in that situation or feel like you could have gotten something out of it? That's exactly what I'm going to be talking about today. A lot of my life I've struggled with anxiety and just speaking up about certain things. So today I'm just going to be talking about how um, speaking up can change your life. So the second slide, the silent struggle, I just wanted to talk about the lack of communication skills, how that leads to missed opportunities, and how, in school or in the workspace, if you don't know how to communicate and you can't communicate certain things, or you can't ask for certain things, it's kind of one of those things where you miss all the shots that you don't take. And so there can be a lot of missed opportunities with that. And then social isolation, how social isolation can lead to impacts on mental health. And, if you don't really have a lot of friends that you talk to a lot, or you just don't build relationships with people, it can lead you just feeling lonely and feel like you don't fit in anywhere. And that leads to the fear of judgment, which is kind of like I just said, you feel like you don't fit in anywhere. You feel like people are always looking at you or thinking a certain thing about you. And the real impacts, um, not knowing good communication skills, it can lead to loneliness, it can lead to increased anxiety, and it can lead to lower self-confidence, and especially increased anxiety. I used to have this a lot. I might always kind of overthink conversations that I had in the moment, and then as well as afterwards, I kind of replay the conversations in my head and wonder if there's anything I should have done different or said different. I wanted to include this pie chart right here, talking about the impact of mental health effects and how certain things affect mental health, how much they affect mental health. And I thought it was interesting because it says loneliness is 10%, anxiety is 20%, and the fear of missing out is 15%. So overall, 45% of things that impact mental health, in my opinion, comes from communication, you know, things that are caused by relationship communication things. Because if you don't have good communication with people, if you don't know how to talk to people, and you don't constantly practice that, there'll be loneliness, there'll be anxiety around people, and you'll have a fear of missing out. So I thought it was crazy how though it was that big of a percentage that makes up the impacts of mental health. I also just wanted to include in here that you don't have to be extroverted. You don't have to be an extroverted person. You don't have to change your personality. Um, I just think that, communication skills as a whole, it's not about being introverted or extroverted. It's just about knowing how to talk to people in general. So I put, you can start small, have small conversations, just practice talking more to people, be intentional with your words, and kind of have you don't have to have super deep conversations with people, but I think it's good to be intentional to show your personality, so people actually know who you are and you get to know them as well. And then also just push slow down. I think whenever you have anxiety about conversations, it's really easy to talk fast and to not think about what you're saying. And that just leads to more anxiety later on because then, like I said, when you're replaying those conversations in your head, you'll be like, what was I even saying? Because you won't be thinking in the moment. Simple ways to improve. You can just say hi and start a simple conversation with somebody. Starting these conversations, I think it's easiest to compliment people on something if you like something they're wearing or um, anything, compliment anything about somebody. I feel like that leads to good conversation. It's also good to ask questions. I feel like, I mean, everybody likes to talk about themselves, at least to a certain extent. So asking questions to people is an easy way to start a conversation. And then I put join activities or groups because I think it's important to get out of your comfort zone and have to uh, talk to multiple new people. So I think if you're in new groups, it gives you the opportunity to have a lot of different conversations. And I wanted to include that there's two possible paths for you. You can really take the recommendations that I'm saying and you'll have more confidence, have more friends, as well as better, more like-minded friends because of course, when you start to show your personality, other people will show their personality, and you'll be able to figure out who you bond with the best. Um, and of course, you just have better communication skills in general. Working on that, you'll be presented with more opportunities. If you do not try the recommendations, the other path is feeling isolated and lonely. You'll have a lot of missed chances with certain things, missed opportunity, like I was saying earlier, and you'll just have regrets on certain things, and a lot of the time you'll question and doubt yourself. And I just wanted to say, start today. It's easy to try to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. Just talk to one new person this week, or ask one beneficial question in class or at work. Um, and yeah, you got this. It's not too hard to try to be better about communication, but it's also not one of those things that changes over. You have to practice it. Here's my works cited with all my sources right here. And just to conclude everything, I just wanted to say that I do think this is one of those things that it takes a long time to work on. And, it's something everybody can work. I can still do a lot better of a job about it myself, even though I have improved a lot. But I just think it's so important in today's world because so many people are just on their phones, texting, calling, not speaking face to face. And so then it leads to a lot of anxiety when we do actually try to have real communication skills. So I think it's one of the most important things that everyone can work on in today's day. Thank you so much for this.